All right, welcome back. In this video, I'm just gonna kind of talk a bit about a few things. Mostly, I'd like to really express my opinion, and it's gonna be kind of probably a politically incorrect one. And if it offends somebody out there, I apologize. I guess it's not meant to offend anybody, but I mean, my opinion is that if Squadron 42 is woke, then it will fail. And my definition of woke is anything that overly emphasizes modern social dilemmas or political trends. Either way, anything like that really, in my opinion, is woke. And if I've noticed that games that tend to express too much of that, companies that tend to express too much of that, really lean one way or the other, try to hammer some of that crap down your throat, whatever it is, they always tend to do poorly. And that's really the sole reason why I'm basing that opinion. And I think it's important to talk about because, I think that there are signs that it's possible. I mean, there are a couple actors that have become political. I'm afraid that maybe that has leached into the social dynamic behind the scenes. I know there is wokeness in every part of culture. And I'm not saying there's necessarily anything wrong. Be woke, there's nothing wrong with it at all, for the most part. But when it becomes any kind of extremist ideology is just sort of somewhat ridiculous, especially when, in my opinion, when it starts infringing on other people's, points of view as well. I mean, we're all, just like that's something I kind of wanted to comment on is, my last video, like the one talking about how I believe CIG's lying to us, in that they're convincing us a testable alpha is a playable alpha, and that that's a horrible sense of mismarketing can be felt when you think about it, at least from certain perspectives. So people disagree, people agree. I've gotten a wide range of comments, and I really enjoy reading them. And I mean, even if every single buddy, it's fun, honestly. Even if every single buddy like voted the video down and be like, "Nah, dude, you're stupid," or not necessarily you're stupid. I think like the insults and stuff, that's a bit too far. I'll allow like people to express themselves, but when it gets like like incidental nonsense attacks, that's when okay, you can take a hike. But otherwise, like if it's a stimulating conversation, even if it's a totally different perspective, or people enlighten me every day. I'm not right about everything, but I'm definitely not wrong about everything. My perspective on that is my perspective on that, and I enjoy reading and rebutting or reiterating, refining the conversation as it continues on this project. And I just want to make it very clear. I love Star Citizen. I will. But I'm willing to bet the $17,000+ that I've pledged to this game. And again, to me, that's just a number. It's part of my retirement. I look forward to playing this game into its long-term future. But there are a lot of warning signs that I'm really watching out for. And wokeism in Squadron 42 is going to be a big determining factor. But again, I'm willing to throw my $17,000 pledge, quote, investment in my future entertainment, unquote, as the bet, right? Because if it flops, then Squadron 42, if that flops, then Star Citizen is going to flop in most, visible outcomes. So we're only hurting ourselves if it goes down that route. I really hope it doesn't. I hope that it is tolerant of all viewpoints, in that it expresses none, overly expresses any. I mean, like, I've played a couple games that really sort of frustrated me in relatively recent history, because they have, and I'm sure a lot of people out there have experienced it. And again, I'm not condemning people for whatever they do in their life or whatever, but I mean, figuratively, I don't need that crap shoved down my throat, and I will walk right away from companies, games, everything, that tries to, because I mean, it's just nonsense to have any kind of point of view shoved down your throat like that, be it a social dynamic or a political one. So that's the big part of what I wanted to talk about. Another thing is to sort of like reiterate about how, we are testers. It really does feel, let's talk about the RSI approach. Now, I tend to kind of focus on what a new player would kind of experience as they're coming into this, this project. A totally, somebody that just basically discovered Star Citizen via Google or whatever, found the RSI website, and that's the approach that they're coming at. And we're talking about a person that has utterly no background in technology. They have a computer at home, a gaming computer, and they like to play Steam games or whatever, Maybe it's a younger person, maybe it's an older person, who knows, right? I know a lot of old people. Actually, I myself am a little bit older, as with like the vast majority of people that I know that play Star Citizen. So I know a lot of older people that are into PC gaming, but not into PCs, not into software development. I mean, in fact, the majority of people that I know that would be into gaming that are older don't know the first thing about software development. So a person coming towards an interest in Star Citizen, especially somebody that maybe enjoyed back in the day, Roberts' earlier work. So who knows, right? This is somebody who has no background. If you go to the RSI website, it leads you to believe that, yes, you're playing a playable alpha. You're testing a playable alpha in reality. You're led to believe that the experience is going to be somewhat polished, that while they are building the game, you're going to generally, it does say that you're going to experience, server crashes, bugs, but it just seems to be very minimalized from the marketing side point. Like when they're trying to sell ships, trying to sell, new players coming in, it's like, oh, just, come play the game, and, it'll be great. You'll love it because you can play it. It's just fine. And every single patch, we expect it to be kind of like a Jesus patch, and it's not. And most times, it leaves us with features we'd expected, but they ended up being broken. And again, that's development. But they're calling us play. I mean, we're sold a game that's playable. They should not be selling us a game that's playable. They should be selling us a game that we help them test. There should be, in my opinion, they're running the risk of being seen as marketing predators because of it, right? And it's not that I think that somebody's going to jump on it and try to class action sue them, but I think that's a possibility. I certainly am not. I don't like the lawyers. I don't like lawsuits. I don't like the idea of suing. I'm here to try to help Star Citizen become what it's supposed to be. But I myself have experienced things with the help desk, and throughout playing the game, quote unquote playing the game, testing the game throughout the 5, 6, 7 years or whatever since I came upon it, I've seen long periods of time where the game was just a real hard thing to deal with, being in here and trying to do something. Other times it's great. In recent times I haven't played because, truthfully, the whole issue I had with customer service and states of the game at times that I've tried to play have really just burned me out from it and made me so I just feel sick to my stomach. I don't want to be in there. And it's unfortunate because I love this project. Eventually I'm going to have that desire back, I'm sure, but it's just not there right now. and it's because of nonsense like this, and then you have to worry about wokeism creeping into the real, the Squadron 42, the core, the root of this entire story dynamic, sandbox universe. I don't know. I think that people tend to misunderstand, and again, I'm not trying to attack the thing. In some degrees, I am. In some degrees, I think that CIG needs to be somewhat, not really attacked, but yeah, I guess attacked or put in check, and we're the people that have to put it in check, and it's not just through not spending. Get a platform, put videos on YouTube, and that's what I do. And again, I enjoy reading the comments. You all could disagree with me, you could hate on me. It doesn't matter. It doesn't hurt my feelings one bit. And in fact, I kind of enjoy it. It's fun because it's nice to see other people's perspective. It's nice to see, whether I'm right or wrong. Honestly, it doesn't matter. It's just an enjoyment because Star Citizen's fun. I'd like to see it go in a really nice direction that keeps us out of court. I think CIG can potentially get sued over a predatory marketing kind of problem just due to the fact that it seems like you're going to experience a playable alpha as opposed to the crunch and the horrible problems that we tend to experience that drives a lot of people away. So there you go.